We have a date for the Panasonic GH6, Apple's next generation M processors in production, and Atomos's popular Ninja 5 can now record 8K up to 30 frames per second from the Canon R5. How's this possible? This and more after the intro. Thanks for tuning in to The Ordinary Filmmaker. But just before I get to today's news, please like this video. The more likes the video gets, the more likely I'm to publish more videos of this type. And one last thing before I get to the news, I just launched the Night Challenge. Shoot a video at night and you could win a brand new Xiong Weebill-S and an Ordinary Filmmaker baseball cap. The contest ends May the 14th. Watch this video here for more details. And now for the news. We have a date for the Panasonic GH6. According to 4/3 Rumors, a source told me that Panasonic will make a major Micro 4/3 announcement on the Lumix's 20th anniversary day. And that day, in case you couldn't find it, is September the 17th, 2001. That was when Panasonic unveiled the DMC LC5 and the MDC F7. They really stick in your mind, those names, don't they? Okay, enough about naming conventions. It's not a confirmed date, so how accurate is the information? How good is the source? It's hard to say, but Yamane-san from Panasonic has already confirmed that, well, we're getting the Panasonic GH6 this year, and September, well, is as likely a time as any. Although, I know a good deal of GH5 owners are eagerly awaiting this update. It's too bad we can't get the update in May or June. And why are they making us wait until the fall? Well, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Apple Insider says the M2 processor enters mass production for the MacBook Pro. Now they put the M2 in quotes because, well, they really don't know the name of the processor, other than it's going to be a next generation. This is not going to be the M1. So what could they call it? The M2? The M1X or something else? It's possible. And don't really care what they call it, just so long as it's powerful enough to go in the MacBook Pro. So when are we getting the video editing powerhouse? The second Apple Silicon processor has reportedly entered volume production and will first appear in the MacBook Pro models for the second half of 2021. I purchased the 8GB M1 MacBook Air, this guy right here, and I gotta say, it's pretty impressive. Now, I didn't buy it for the hype. I didn't buy it because I wanted to do a review. I needed a general purpose home computer for schoolwork, browsing the web, and some casual 4K video editing. And for the price, for what it can do, it's pretty impressive. The screen resolution is pretty good. It's the right size now for editing 4K. I find that the 13-inch screen just isn't big enough, but for everything else, schoolwork-wise, my son's loving it. He's able to get more information on the screen because we had a much smaller computer, if you can believe it, than this before, an 11-inch computer. And I'm just absolutely staggered by the performance you can get out of the M1. I mean, in some cases, it's able to beat my previous iMac Pro, not the regular iMac, but the iMac Pro, by twice the speed. So when it comes to exporting, this thing's twice as fast, and that's in H.265, so I'm quite impressed with it. So I'm eager to see the MacBook Pro, but I'm not 100% sure I'm going to get it because I've got two choices. I can go with portability, which is what the MacBook Pro is going to give me. It's the ability to edit wherever I am, go outside if I want, go upstairs, find a nice quiet place in the house, do whatever I want, take that video editing with me. Or I can go with something like the update to the 27-inch iMac that gives me a much larger, higher detail screen. So that's kind of what I'm going to be thinking about. But it's good to hear that I'll finally be able to get a new computer soon, because editing the channel's work on this thing is not ideal. And the major limiting factor is the screen size. Although I probably should have gotten at least 16 gigs. But essentially for editing 4K video, you should have 32 gigs as a base. Otherwise, it's going to be thrashing you using the SSD a lot more, wearing it down. We've also got some exciting news from Atomos. I'm using the Atomos Ninja 5 to record this channel, but they've got 3 major updates. Now, the biggest one that I know you want to hear about first is that they're releasing the Ninja 5 Plus. And what's a big deal about this one is it's going to be able to capture 8K video. We are also delighted to announce that the Ninja 5 Plus will be able to record 8K up to 30 frames per second Apple ProRes RAW when connected to the Canon EOS R5 mirrorless camera. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Well, Simon, how is this possible? The R5 has HDMI 2.0. And if you look at the specifications, these are the specifications from Canon's UK site for HDMI output. Take a look there. It's capped at 60 frames per second in 4K. Atomos and Canon are delighted to bring customers a world first for capturing stunning, pristine 8K images with such an affordable, capable, and compact camera system. This will be a true game changer in content creation. Okay, so will this be a firmware update? Will Canon release a firmware update to support this? Well, I'm going to kind of look at this thing in two ways. To enable this, because currently Canon's saying, well, 4K 60 is as far as you can go, there's one of two choices. A software update through firmware, or hardware update, a Mark II. Now, Canon to release another R5 Mark II after just a year seems highly unlikely, and a firmware update is far more likely. Now, Atomos has gone and said that this is not going to be available for about a month, so we're going to get it in the later end of May. And we're also going to be able to record 4K at 120 frames per second in Apple ProRes RAW through the Ninja 5 Plus, and that's just absolutely staggering. Now, the price is a little bit more than the Ninja 5, which is $599. The Ninja 5 Plus suggested retail is $1499. But wait, there's more. And I got to take a look at my screen here because I didn't remember all the details. This just came out. If you look at this chart here, you can see that you get RAW over SDI. So that's one of the biggest plus you get with a Pro kit. And of course, it's optional with a Ninja 5 Plus as well. So really big updates. I want to know what you think here. How do you think we're going to be able to record 8K up to 30 frames per second from the R5? Because they've said they're working with Canon. So what are they doing with Canon? What's going on? Is this a firmware update that we're going to get? And are they going to possibly release a Mark II? I don't think so. I think it's most likely going to be some sort of firmware update. I can't think of any other ports on the R5 that they would take out of instead of HDMI, but I'm really curious to know the details. They say more details will come. I think it's on May the 2nd, May the 4th. I'm not sure. What do we see here? Okay, so tune into atomos.com on Thursday the 6th of May for more information about these products. And there's one other product that they're announcing too, is the Ninja Stream. Now what the Ninja Stream is all about, as you might have already guessed by the name, it offers simultaneous recording of both ProRes and H.264.265 proxy with shared file names and timecode while sending video feeds to other Ninjas, smart devices, or web-based platforms simultaneously. You know what has got my attention the most in there that kind of made me snicker a little bit? They use the word whilst. That's a little bit of an archaic term, but maybe in Australia they have a slightly different English, but whilst. Thus we go on to our next story. No, before I go on to the next story, so if you're going to be doing live streaming, this is going to be very interesting to see how they make that work. But also, if you have the Ninja 5, they're also going to be bringing H.265 in an update, a firmware update. So we've got a lot coming from Atomos, and some of you have been telling me, yes, Atomos has got something brewing, and I said, well, you know, once they make an announcement, I'll be one of the first to know because they will send me an email, and that's what I got this morning when I woke up. I saw this wonderful email. 8K. Now, here's the thing I wonder. To record 8K from the Canon R5 to the Ninja 5 Plus, will this mean unlimited 8K recording? Is it possible? Is it possible to record unlimited 8K recording? That would really change the capabilities of this camera. But now that being said, what about the Alpha 1? The Alpha 1 can also record 8K video. I'm really curious here. Now the Alpha 1 doesn't do RAW, but again, when you're pulling right off the sensor, you can get a really, really high detail. I'm just kind of wondering here, because their press release didn't talk about Sony in any way whatsoever. They made, and if you look at the quote here from their email that they sent out, it's Canon R5, Canon R5. They've mentioned Canon R5 multiple times, letting people know that they're working with Canon to allow this. So I don't know if this is going to be possible with the Sony Alpha 1, but we'll just have to wait to find out more. But I know, Stop the FOMO, you've got to be curious by this because, well, you've had some overheating and you do an awful lot of 8K recording. Let me ask you this. If the Ninja 5 Plus doesn't support 8K on the Sony Alpha 1, would you move back to the Canon R5 if you could record unlimited 8K 8K RAW ProRes? Let me know in the comment section down below. And now, it's time to go behind the scenes. I'm just going to make this brief. In this episode of Behind the Scenes, I want to talk about the live streaming that I'm planning on doing this Saturday morning at 7 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time. I am having some technical difficulties. I've had to purchase some gear because if you look at the last video, the detail was pretty poor. I don't believe it has anything to do with the computer at all, the M1 MacBook Air that I have. I think it most likely has to do with networking. So I purchased some stuff is still coming. And if I can get everything set up and ready by, let's say, Thursday or Friday, then what I'll do is I'll go ahead and schedule a session so you'll be able to see it Friday night that I'm going to be having a session scheduled that you can set a reminder for Saturday morning. And if not, you don't see anything, well, then I'm not going to be doing it this week. I'd rather do it right than not do it at all. The pilot on Sunday was very much that, a pilot to allow me to see what worked and what didn't work. But that's it for now. Don't forget to subscribe for your chance to win 2 Angelbird 128GB AV Pro MK2 V90 SD cards, along with a dual UHS-2 SD card reader. Or you could also win a Ulanzi LED light package with an accent light, underwater light, and various other flat panel lights to light your subject, or as a starter kit for someone starting their own channel. And don't forget the night challenge as well, where I'm giving away a Weebill, where is it? Right here. A brand new Weebill-S Gimbal. So that's coming up too. And if you do want to support the channel, please use my affiliate links to B&H and Amazon, or consider buying an Ordinary Filmmaker baseball cap for $34.99 at ordinaryfilmmaker.com. Again, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again soon.